Take the first step towards online privacy. Get NordVPN.
I believe that George Carlin is my spirit animal. So.
Yes. Okay. Now I want to move this on to something else, right? So look, there's a lot about Trump that I endorse. His non-interventionist approach. That should he become president, should they allow let him live long enough, and I think it will happen. And they may delay the elections and disrupt them, but I think he will become president. The war in Ukraine will stop. But all he's got to say about Israel is Israel just needs to hurry up. Like, it's okay. It's not okay for killing Ukrainian and Russian human beings and funding that, but it's okay to keep killing Palestinian human beings and funding that.
I don't think he's going to. Remember, Trump was trying desperately to get Netanyahu during his first term to accept some kind of solution. And I'll tell you, there's two things I noted at the Republican convention. I'm going to make this really simple. One, no, not during the Republican convention. One, Trump and Netanyahu are not friends anymore. That is very clear. The second one, I noticed a distinct lack of Jews surrounding Trump at the usual suspects that you always see surrounding particular Republican. I didn't see it. Where was Muriel Adelson? Like, I got news for you. Everybody's worried about her. He took her money, and now he's taking Elon Musk's money. I think that a lot of this stuff is going to change. Trump didn't want. Look, at a certain level, folks, Trump understands instinctively, not necessarily, in terms of nuance. I think he instinctively understands that none of this serves us. But let's start with the basics. Don't let the enemy be the perfect of the good. No, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. So get Ukraine over and done with. Say no to war over Taiwan, please, because that's what everybody was worried about. Everybody was worried that we're going to pull out of Ukraine and move over to China. The fucking the John Bolton crowd have been screaming about this for been trying to pivot this that way for the last year and a half. And we can solve the Middle East, but the Americans do have more interest in the Middle East than they do in Ukraine or China. They really do in the long run, and it's a story that can resolve itself. I don't know how it's going to resolve itself. I'm not, but I'm saying let's get started. Let's start the process. Let's gut NATO like a goddamn fish and take some wins. And you can't ask for. I can't ask for perfect at this point. I'll take anything.
No, I get it, Tom. I get it. And for me, as a Muslim, but also one who goes to Quaker meetings, who's for peace, and I think war, the mass murder of people is the worst thing that any government can do. And supporting it, funding it, it's just awful. Then comes slavery, right? And then I suppose violating the Nuremberg Code en masse. Those are the worst things any government can do. So for me, and I look at the options. There's RFK, pro-Zionist, Gabbard, pro-Zionist, Trump being funded by Adelson, and then J.D. Vance. Like their lines on what they say about Ukraine and J.D. Vance and Trump, what they say about going to war with China and going to war with Ukraine, supporting that, I completely endorse. And then the stuff about supporting Israel. And then when you say there were no Jews around the conference, not so many Zionists as there were before, because I draw a distinction between Zionists and Jews.
Absolutely.
Isn't one of his sons an Orthodox Jew?
Jared Kushner, and he's not part of this. And he and Ivanka have been moved out of the scene. They are not part of this. They are not going to be. I have it on very good authority. They are not going to be a part of this administration whatsoever. They're the ones that drove Trump's Israeli policy in 2016. I remember people telling me flat out, it's like, Tom, don't ever forget. Jared Netanyahu used to stay in Jared Kushner's fucking room when he would visit the United States, when he'd visit New York, and Kushner had to go sleep on the couch when he was a kid. Like, that's how close those two families are. Like, so don't expect much air between the Trump administration. So Kushner is the snake in the garden.
Right.
And okay.
He's out.
They're nowhere on this one. So look, and I also want you to be very careful. Everybody, because I've seen it from too many people on our side of the fence. Being against Hamas is not pro-Zionist. If it's not. They can both suck.
Yeah, a pox on both those murderers.
This is very important. And if you listen very carefully, that's what you hear from Tulsi Gabbard. You don't hear pro-Israel. You hear Hamas sucks. Hamas needs to pay.
Okay.
That's not the same thing. And what I've seen it from, I see it from Patrick Henningsen, I've seen it from Daniel McAdams, I see it from so many people that they go trigger right off the friggin', they get triggered, they go right off the reservation. I call them both out in public on Twitter on this, or I would not have mentioned their names. And Patrick got angry with me, and Daniel McAdams backed down. Because it's sincere. I've listened to Gabbard's book. She's not pro-Zionist.
Okay.
Period.
All right, Tom.
This is very important.
Yeah, okay. I'm very glad you said that, Tom, because I suspected it. It's just that, you know, in this political climate, a lot of people who are vying for power cannot really speak their mind, because remember what they did to Jeremy Corbyn, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think that people took a lesson from there. So they're hedging, you know, like they're kind of, yeah, whatever. And they say what they think they have to say to steer clear from the political assassins, to get themselves over the line, and then, you know, they do what they do.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And then any commentary on the happy state of the UK?
I just wanted, you know, Tom was saying a little bit ago, like.